Hola chicos, we are so excited that you and your families are joining us for the Compel Kids online experience.
We just want to encourage you guys to get together as a family and make your living room your church for the day. We would be so excited to hear about how you guys worship together and taught your family your dance moves from your favorite Compel Kids song.
We're going to be doing crafts, we're going to be doing some cooking, and we're going to hear an awesome devotional from Compel Kids leaders.
It's going to be such a great time, and we're going to get started here in just a moment with a really fun song. But I just want to remind you guys as a family that we use movement as an act of worship in our ministry. It's a time to just celebrate the body that God has given us with dance moves, with words of song, and just praising His name. So I challenge you guys to get up on your feet and worship together as a family.
Get ready, get set, ready, set, move! You've been with me from the start. You're the one who knows my heart. You are there for me, Jesus. You are showing me the way, love and kindness every day. You are helping me, Jesus. So I'll follow you, here and there and everywhere. I know it's true, you're always by my side. I'm ready for the time of my life. I'm set on doing what you do. I'm gonna share your love with the world. Ready, set, move! Get ready, get set, ready, set, move!
You've been with me from the start. You're the one who knows my heart. You are there for me, Jesus. You are showing me the way, love and kindness every day. You are helping me, Jesus.
So I'll follow you, here and there and everywhere. I know it's true, you're always by my side. I'm ready for the time of my life. I'm set on doing what you do. I'm gonna share your love with the world. Ready, set, move! Get set, ready, set, move! I'll do what Jesus told me, believe what Jesus showed me, love 'cause Jesus loved me. We trust that He is with us, no, He will never leave us. Let's shout what He did for us. Bring it down.
I'm ready for the time of my life. I'm set on doing what you do. I'm gonna share your love with the world.
Ready, set, move. I'm ready for the time of my life. I'm set on doing what you do. I'm gonna share your love with the world.
Ready, set, move.
Jesus told me,
I'll do
Jesus
whatever you want me to do, Lord.
ready, set, move.
Trust in you.
Trust in you. Set, move.
What's going on, Compel Kids families? Charlie Cross here, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I want to talk to you about me and my family and some of our favorite things to do. But before we get into that, I want to read you one of my favorite poems. The road not taken, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads to way, I doubted I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. This is one of my favorite poems by the great American author Robert Frost. It's got a great message behind it, but it also reminds me a lot of my family. We're outdoors people. We love to get out and hike and bike and kayak. It's just great to be out in nature. One of the greatest parts of being in the woods is when you're traveling down a path and you look to your left and you look to your right and you look forward and you say, which way will I go? And maybe a path is familiar, and maybe a path is difficult, and maybe a path is easy. And you might take the familiar one, you might take the easy one, or you might turn to the left and say, there's not even a path here. Let's go this way and see if we could discover something that nobody has ever seen before. Maybe a tree or a flower or a waterfall. Maybe there was a house built here 200 years ago that's been totally overgrown by the forest, and we'll be the first ones to see it in 200 years. There's a thrill and an excitement that comes with that. And sometimes you choose the right path, and sometimes you choose the wrong path. Sometimes you get lost in the woods, and when you get lost, your kids might be crying and worried, or they might be excited to say, we got to find our way out of here. A couple years ago, my family and I were in Wyoming at Yellowstone National Park, and even though it was late June, the mountains were still capped with snow. So we were playing around and exploring and adventuring, and my kids and me and my sister decided to take a path up a waterfall. And we could see the crest of the waterfall, but we didn't know what was beyond it. So we started trudging up the waterfall, and the water was freezing cold, and the rocks were slippery, and it was dangerous, but we kept pressing on. And as we went up and up, the waterfall got thinner and thinner and thinner. And when we came over the crest, we saw something I'll never forget. It was the melting of the snow, the drip, drip, drip that started the waterfall. So we turned over and we opened our mouth and we let the water drip from the snow into our mouth. It was cold and delicious and refreshing, and it was worth all the trouble to get up that path of that waterfall. It was so fun. We later discovered that that was actually the source of the Yellowstone River. So when we got to the other side of the park, the river was like a half a mile wide, and at one point we had been exactly where that river started. It was a great adventure. But like I said, not every path you choose is the right path. It's easy to get lost in the woods. It's easy to fall down on a slippery rock. And I feel like the same is true for our walk with God and our religious life. As human beings, sometimes we choose a path that leads to our own glory. Sometimes we choose a path that says, we're going to read our Bible daily. We're going to pray. We're going to do what the Bible says. We're going to worship God. But other times we say, I got this. I don't need any help. And we know that that's wrong. But the Bible tells us in Psalm 25, verse 10, all the paths of the Lord are steadfast love and righteousness for those who keep his covenant and his testimonies. So that gets me excited coming into this new year, 2024. We have a path that lays before us. And as long as we keep our hearts and our minds focused on the ways of God, we know that he's going to put us on that path that he has designed for us. The Bible tells us in Ephesians that God has put out great works for us to do. He put these out a long time ago. And all we have to do is know that path that God has given us. And we can do little things that will change the world forever. But remember, this year we are also going to make a wrong choice. We're going to choose a path that leads us astray from where God wanted us to be. The good thing about God is he never changes. He never leaves us. He never abandons us. And as long as we turn towards him and we remember his faithfulness, he'll always show us that path of steadfast love and righteousness. So I encourage you, families, this year, put your mind and your heart on the things that are pleasing to the Lord. Focus every day on the fact that God will perform a miracle for you today, and he surely will do it. And as for me and my family, we're going to get back to the woods. There's an age-old question that has plagued mankind since the beginning of time, and that is this: does a bear poop in the woods? We're going to find out. We'll see you later.
Hello, Compel Kids family. Thank you for joining us today. We have a story for you about two travelers who went into a town looking for food. But every house that they visited told them that they didn't have any food. They barely had enough to feed their families. They didn't have a scrap to spare. But the visitors were famous cooks and told them that they could make a big meal for the whole town. They called it stone soup.
The town was excited to finally have a great meal.
The cooks asked if anyone had a large cauldron to put over the fire and a spoon to stir. One family brought it right out, and the cooks put in a large stone and began to stir.
Eventually, they tasted it and they were like, this is so good, but we can use some more ingredients. So they asked one family, do you have some celery that we could have? And another family for some carrots. And each family brought them out and continued to stir them in. The soup was amazing.
They continued to ask for more ingredients, and they added some salt and some potatoes and a bit of chicken, and there was enough for everyone in the town to eat until they were full. And the air was full of laughter as the town ate and fellowshiped and danced together.
The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 12 that we are a part of one body. We are called the body of Christ. Everyone has a job to do, and everyone participates in that body, just like everyone participated in making the soup.
So your food challenge for this week is to go together with your family and make a meal and let everyone contribute either an ingredient or a dish. And if you're feeling really festive, have your family organize a potluck with your neighborhood, and each family could contribute a dish. What a great way to make memories and fellowship with your community.
Have a great time with this challenge, and don't forget that cooking is a great way to make family memories. Have a great week, and thank you for joining us with Cooking with Compel Kids with
Nikki
and Paula.
Bye.
Hey families, we are here again with Miss Ashley, who's going to lead us through another really cool craft to do.
Hey guys, so everyone loves their Christmas trees, right? Some people get them out right after Halloween. So we are gonna make a 3D Christmas tree today. Basically, all we're going to need today is green paper, glue, and scissors. All right guys, so once you get all your supplies, our first step is folding the paper down. And then we are gonna cut this extra part off right here. And then, once we have our piece like this, we're gonna make sure we turn it this way, and we are gonna use our other piece of paper, and we're going to make a line across right here about 1/2 inch. And then for this part right here, we're going to make about 10 cuts all the way to the line, and that's where you're going to stop cutting. Thanks. Are you? And then leave, once you get down, leave a little space at the top, because that's gonna make the star on the tree. So once we have all our lines cut, we're gonna flip it and open it up. Almost like a palm leaf. Okay. And then now we're gonna grab our glue and just put a little dot on each side. And once we have glue on all our sides, we're going to start kind of braiding this. You're gonna take this side and come all the way to the other side. Just like that. Some glue might come off, but it's okay. And then push it down. And then you're gonna go with your other side and go over the top. So that's basically what we're gonna do all the way down until we get to these two. All right, and that is our finished project. So if you wanna go back after the glue dries, you can color in the star, just dab it to put some little Christmas balls, but that's our 3D Christmas tree. So after we get done with our craft, it should look a little something like this. Little 3D tree. You can hang it on your bedroom, you can hang it on your tree, or give it to someone special.
That's it for this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you next week in person in your Compel Kids environments.
We can't wait to hear about how your treats, your crafts, and your worship as a family went. Again, we'll see you next week at church.
Bye.
Bye.